Hello everyone, welcome to another video of my channel. Today I'll be discussing about a new problem named Valid Palindrome II. Its LeetCode problem number is 680. It's an ad hoc problem and it's categorized as easy. So let's get started. The problem says given a string s, return true if the s can be palindrome after deleting at most one character from it. That means we'll be given a string and we will have to check whether the string can be made palindrome after deleting at most one character from it. That means if it is already palindrome, we will return true, and also if it has one character by deleting which the string can be made palindrome, then also we can return true. Otherwise, if there are more than one characters by deleting whom we will be able to make the string palindrome, then in that case we return false. If we have a look at the example, here we can see that ABA. So here if we remove this B, we got AA, which is a palindrome, and also if we do not remove any character, we got ABA, which is also palindrome. So we return true here. And in the second example, here if we either remove C or B, the resulting string becomes palindrome, so it also returns true. But if we have a look at this last example, in order to make this ABC string palindrome, we will have to remove at least two elements, two characters. Otherwise it is impossible for us to make this string palindrome. So since this is more than one, we will return false. Now let's talk about our solution approach. What we'll be doing is we'll take two pointers named say I and j at the first and last indices of the string. That means we'll take two variables, say I that will point at the very start, initially that will point at the first character of the string, and j will point at the very last character of the string. Then we will be keep checking their values. That means whether the characters at ith and jth index are equal. If they are equal, we simply decrement the value of j and increment the value of I. That means we go to the next index. In this way, if all the I and jth index characters are equal until I becomes greater than or equal to j, we can conclude that the string is palindrome and we return true. But if we encounter a situation where ith and jth character are not equal, then what we do? Then we check palindrome for the I plus 1th to j and I to j minus 1th index. Let's try to explain this scenario. Here we can see a string. Now we will apply our this approach to the string. So we assign two pointers, say here the I is in this very first character and j is in this very last character. Now let's keep checking both I and j characters are equal. So what we do, we increment the value of I, that means we go to this character, and we decrement the value of j, that means we come to this character. Here also we encounter the same, that means both are equal. So now we come to this b, and here this b, here also both are equal. Now let's see an interesting thing. Now we have come to this a, and here the j pointing to x. Here we can see a situation that where the ith and jth index character are not equal. Since we are encountering it at the very first time, that means we got a mismatch. Here we can say that here in this string there is at least one mismatch. Now in order to return true, we cannot have any more mismatch. If we can have any more mismatch, we return false. If we don't have any more mismatch, we return true. Now how can we encounter this situation? Since we already know that these I and j are not equal, we can proceed in two ways. Either we change the position of I and keep the position of j fixed and continue the same process, or we do the reverse thing. That means we keep the position I fixed and change the position of j. Let's encounter one. Let's keep the position of I fixed and only change the position of j. So j pointing this way. Here we can say that both I and j index are equal. Then again we see the same thing, and at last I and j index are becoming pointing to the same thing. That means just only changing the value of j, we got a true, which means now we return true. Let's solve this problem in LeetCode to clarify these things more. Here this valid palindrome is our main function. Here we have taken two pointers, left pointing the very first and right pointing the very last character of our string. We run the loop until our left is not equal or greater than right. Now the thing is that if the character at left and right index are not equal, we do something, otherwise we increment the value of left and decrement the value of right. So if our given string is already palindrome, this condition is never encountered and we return true. Now what if at a certain position those two characters are not equal? In that case we have written another function named check palindrome. It takes the string and a left and right pointer. What it does? It does the similar thing, but one exception: whenever it encounters a scenario where the left pointer index and right pointer index characters are not same, are not equal, it at once return false, otherwise at last it returns true. So whenever we get any anomalies in our main string, what are we doing? We are calling this helper function change the position of left by keeping the position of right fixed. So we can go in this way, and there is another way. We can keep the position of our left index fixed and just simply change the index of our right pointer. If any one of these function return true, then we return true. If both of them return false, then we return false. So that is the idea. Now let's submit this problem and see what happens. We got accepted. I believe you guys have understood this problem and its solution approach. Thank you very much.